Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chats. Marvellous Monday. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. If you think it's Get Rich Quick, you're in the wrong place. This is the wrong podcast. This is the wrong live for you. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat. Hope you're all awesome and well. Hey, good morning, folks. Welcome along, Wealth Coffee Chats on a Thursday, 10th of October. Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are. Already got one or two of you on already, which is good news. Early bird gets the worm, they say. Kevin, how are you, mate? Good to see you. Now, daylight savings, which is good. I suppose we've been there for a week, haven't we? So in the rest of the world, it's 10 past 7, or is it 10 past 9? I can't remember the name. Anyway, I think it's 10 past 9. Anyway, a little bit later for some of you this morning, Luke, than normal. So there you go. I don't know if it's better or worse, but who knows? There you go. Hey, good to see you, folks. Thanks for joining this morning. Luke's in the house already. Ramon, hey, good morning to you. Great to see you here. Ramon, thanks for joining. Hey, folks, while we're getting things a little bit warmed up, do the quick intros as we normally do. Jason Witten's my name. Most of you know that, though. But if you don't, now you do. And you might be finding us, via the magic of the internet, or you might have joined our coaching or property mentoring program of recent times. So if that's you, then that's awesome. Thanks for joining. Great to have you here. And let us know where you are located in this fine country of ours in Australia. Sometimes we've got people from all over the world. Kevin's from Florida. We do have a few clients from different places and spaces, but it'd be great to hear from you. So give us a shout out in the chat. That'd be good to know where you are, what you're up to. Always good to get a little bit of interaction in the chat, which is great. Hey, morning, Brad. Good to see you, mate. Thanks for joining. Well, let's get on with this morning's conversation. I thought we might talk about interest rate cuts. Let me know who's a bit excited, who's interested in interest. Who's interested, who's excited about the world of interest rate cuts into the future? Well, I am, certainly. It's nice to have the dollars and cents slowing down as an outflow when it comes to the cost of your interest, and the world of the ability to borrow for you and I as property investors. Unless you're living under a rock, you've been paying some attention, I'm quite sure, to the world of interest rates and RBA announcements. Morning, Natando. Morning, Sonia. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. We may have been paying some attention as we've been going along. And the idea that we're all waiting for, let's say waiting for, is that the right words? But we are, understanding is at some point in 2025, those interest rates that are sort of up at around, 6 to 7% will go down to a number. We don't know what that number is. And today's conversation is, will it make such a difference? What difference will it make? Well, there's a few things that we might talk about today and have a look at what's going on out there in the marketplace. But, here's one of the little articles that have come out in one of the newspapers, Fin Review. Always sort of scan the Fin Review for headlines. I don't particularly subscribe to any of the news articles. I prefer to find information and data and make my own judgments on the property market. But it's really interesting to see here more investors entering the market than bailing out. Now, we of recent times, we saw what I would call good time Charlies. You get property investors. I got a message from a property investor the other day. After 10 years, I'm selling my property because now I've got some capital growth. And I'm like, what? I don't understand. Like, the point is to buy and own an investment, right? And now, it might have taken a little bit longer than you wanted. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Maybe that property you purchased should have been better researched and understood beforehand. And it's easy to make those decisions in the rear vision mirror, right? But hey, now the property's kicking on. Now it's got capital growth. You're only 10 years into actually ownership, which, you really, like I've said thousands of times on this Wealth Coffee Chats, 15 to 20 years of owning a good property in the right spot. That's the point, right? Good time Charlies, hey? Good time Charlies, your own worst enemy. I heard a little saying the other day, most people get defeated by themselves, not anything else, right? So that property investor just defeating themselves, as far as I'm concerned. They bought the property, they've made the effort, they've gone through maybe some tough times, and now they're like, oh, I'm going to get out, right? Anyway, I get distracted. More investors are entering the market than bailing out. We had, the property investors in Melbourne. Oh, the land tax has gone up. Now, that is a bit of a pain in the ass, that's for sure. Those governments gouging for dollars and cents, and the only people they can, give a kicking to are the people who own real estate, which, at the end of the day, the politicians are the ones we vote in, folks. So just so you know, if you're having a whinge, vote for better people. It's a bit tough, I get it. There's not much better people out there. But anyway, the point is, quantify that thing. How much is it? Well, it was $900. The average property investor had to pay $900 in land tax. Now, I think that's ludicrous that they're gouging. However, this is the rules. This is the game we play, right? There's three, let's call them enemies or opposition in the game of wealth that we're playing, folks. And don't get me wrong, there are those forces and institutions and processes that do not give a rat's ass whether you make money or not. They don't care if you're happy. They don't care if you're broke. They don't give a shit, right? And those three institutions are, or sort of, parties are. The banks, they don't give a rat's ass whether you can pay your mortgage or not. They have to make you qualify for a loan. They don't care if the interest rates go. They don't give a rat's ass. They don't give a shit. They book their $1 billion profits. You're just a bit of, wheat in the grinding wheel for their profit machine, right? The second institution, the ATO, they don't give a rat's ass. Their job is not to make you happy or care about anything when it comes to the world of your financial well-being. And then the politicians, right? They don't care. They feather their own nest. That's human nature, and I'd love to live in a fairyland, but that's not the case. But, here's the drill, right? The idea that, investors were bailing out of the market before because the politicians in Victoria made some, stupid decisions. That's the game we play, folks. That's the game. You can't control them by and large. We can try and vote for better ones, hopefully. But at the end of the day, we need to be in charge of what we're up to. Anyway, a little rant this morning. Anyway, there you go. But listen, more investors entering the market than bailing out because they're expecting some rate cuts within a few months going forward, right? I don't think it'll be before Christmas. It'd be wonderful if it was, but, I reckon it'll be maybe early next year or mid next year. Anyway, what's the point of my conversation this morning, right? The investor demand for homes outstrips supply, all right? Is this something new? No, it's not. It's something we've been talking about for a long time, and supply has an issue. Supply has got some problems. Now, for you and I as property investors, that's actually quite good for the moment for our values, but not so great for other things. But, will it make a difference? What will it do in the marketplace, right? Now, there are two things that can move the needle when it comes to affecting the ability for the market to sort of leap in to investing or borrowing, right? So let's do a little quiz. I've given you the two starting letters of the two things. So when it comes to finance, there's actually two parts to the mechanism that you and I might be exposed to. One we see and one we don't see directly. What do you think the two things are when it comes to what might go down in the future and what's up really high now? Does anyone know what they are? It's kind of a trick question. I'm trying to sort of ask the question without giving it away. Buying power, yeah, absolutely, Nintendo. That could be buying power. You're right. It's not, though, in this circumstance, but you're dead right. The buying power and servicing for your future is pretty important. But you're right. This one, let's make that the right color. Rates, okay? Interest rates go down. Now, if interest rates go down, let's say you're paying 7%, and it goes down to 6%. The ratio of 7 to 6%, I don't know, it's probably around 15% drop in dollars and cents. Maybe I should have worked that out a bit earlier today, but 6 divided by 7, 15%, that's right. So it's a 15% reduction if it goes down 1%, right? Now, if your borrowing power is at this moment in time, if your borrowing power is like, 500 grand, so 500, $500,000 times by 1.15, or 500 grand times by 1.15 equals 575. Right. Now, for me and you, for me, I don't think that's going to make a massive material difference in those who are lower income earners. Okay, so let's talk about this as we go along. What's the other one? It's not buying power in this reference, but that's usually what we talk about, Nintendo, buying power and servicing. Right now, there's a thing called a buffer, okay? And it's actually, I should have put interest rate, buffer rate. Maybe that might have been a bit better. The buffer rate, does anyone know on top of the interest rate, what the banks are doing, what amount of interest or percentage they put on top of the actual interest rate that you have to service at, folks? Put that in the chat for me, because it's ludicrous. It's a fucking joke. Excuse the French, but I'm just going to call it as it is. Yep, Nintendo. Yep, it's 3%. It's an absolute rubbish, complete absolute joke, right? Like it's ludicrous. Like as far as I'm concerned. So let's have a quick look at this. If the politicians if they really want to make a difference, these fork-tongued bloody liars, if they really want to make a difference to help out first home buyers and borrowers, then go to APRA and say, get rid of this stupid 3% buffer rate
which has done nothing. No, like this, boo. This one. Does that do it? Boo. Nah, it's not doing it. There we go. I don't know what's going on there. How about this? Does this work? Hey! All right, that's not bad. Anyway, I've left on some special effects on my camera this morning. Anyway, so go to APRA and say, hey, get rid of this bloody stuff, right? This is rubbish. 3% plus 7%, put the math on there. That's, 11%, 10 or 11% for some people to be able to borrow. That's, it blows my mind how stupid people are. Anyway, stupid politicians are. So, folks, if you wanted to, let's do the same scenario here. If you're able to borrow 500K, right, what could happen? So the interest rates go down a full percent, and a full percent is probably a lot of interest rate cut, maybe even 1.5%. That might go up to 600, right? Okay, 500 to 600, sure, that will help. Doesn't make a massive difference, right? But let's do this. If you get the buffer rate down, so 500 would go to 550, and then down to 1% would go to 600. All right. So if you added these two together, then you'd get a much better outcome, right? It's either the 1%. So if you go cut it 1% and drop that to 1%, you'd probably get this to 700 as we go along, right? So you go, okay, add an extra 15% to 600, and that would pop to 700K. Everyone get the picture? That's what should be happening right now. Unfortunately, in the marketplace, there's some things like this going on, which is for you and I a little bit interesting to see. I don't know if you can see that. Might punch in and have a little look. So you've got, the owner-occupiers, just dribbling along as we're going along. They're not increasing. Why? The owner-occupier loans are increasing because they're not refinancing or resetting or whatever it might be. Investors going up and first home buyers going down. And why? Because the property values are up. Their ratio of incomes to property values are out of skew. And for those who are getting in first home buyers, the challenge is this piece here. Have a look at the servicing buffer rate when it comes to the on top of the lending. Have a look how much is on top, right? And over here, when the interest rates went up, that blew it out of the water, okay? Crazy times for most borrowers, okay? Now, to go and get a property now, the borrowing capacity, most loans, folks, are over here. What's the average, the majority of the loans being done, you're having to earn 150 to 200 minimum to crack into a loan, right? So it's ludicrous when it comes to the borrowing power and bits and pieces. So, for me, what's it going to do? Is it going to make a huge difference when it comes to the world of borrowing? Well, for you and I, an extra 100 grand or 150 grand in our borrowing power as an investor, big tick in the box, right? Boom, we're happy. It's probably going to add between sort of 100 to 150K over the interest rate drop cycle. So wherever you're sitting right now, let's say you've gone and checked your recent borrowing power, that's kind of the number we're looking to add into the future. Now, will that make a massive difference when it comes to the properties we can buy and the quality of the property we can buy? The challenge for me, for you right now is number one, supply is down, right? Number two, construction prices are up, okay, when it comes to that stuff for us as property investors. So we need to understand these two forces will kick on pretty quickly. The moment this is delivered to the marketplace, it's going to make this, the supply and the construction costings, maybe even kick in a bit harder, because people will be able to get back into the market. It might bring some of the owner-occupiers back into the market. The first home buyers have left the market. Maybe the upsizers, downsizers, right sizers, they don't need to borrow, so they're just paying cash. So those sorts of things. So anyway, there you go. Hopefully that makes sense, or there was something today that might have made sense in a bit of a ranty rant day. But really, at the end of the day, interest rates and interest rates cuts will help. Will it make a difference to the market overall? I don't think it will. I think it's going to make the supply issues worse. And I think, it's not going to really help the first home buyers get back into the market, to be honest, or owner occupiers, because investors have rents and the rents have gone up, and the investors will, be able to take advantage of those interest rates cuts. Anyway, there you go. Wealth Coffee Chat done and dusted for today, folks. Join us again tomorrow for another one. The team from the lending team will be on tomorrow, and that's usually Kang. But depends on who is out and about from Positive Money. They'll be in having a bit of a chat about all things borrowing as well tomorrow. So maybe it's a double whammy when it comes to the world of borrowing and financing. Anyway, there you go, folks. Done and dusted today. Over and out. See you on Monday next week for me, but join us tomorrow for Wealth Coffee Chats again. Till then, folks, take care. Bye for now.
Episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Improve your portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the Six Star team here at Positive.